All right, so today we're going to do our journal notes over adding and subtracting decimals. So step one when you're adding and subtracting decimals is to line up your decimals. So you always want your decimals to be lined up, and we're going to look at what that looks like here in just a second. Step two is to either add or subtract like normal. So your addition and your subtraction doesn't change. The only thing that would change is maybe where the decimal would be. Instead of having whole numbers, you're going to have decimals in your actual numbers. And then the very last thing you're going to do is bring down the decimal into your answer. So the first question that you're going to see, we have 5 86/100ths plus 13 9/10. So when it says line up your decimals, this 5 has a decimal after it, and this 13 has a decimal after it. So if you'll notice, if I were to draw a little dotted line, my decimals would be lined up. So we're going to line up our decimals, which was step one, so we can check that off. We're going to add or subtract like normal, and this doesn't have a digit here, so I'm going to go ahead and just throw in a placeholder. So 6 plus 0 is going to be 6, 8 plus 9 is going to be 17, carry your 1, that's going to be 8, 9, and 1. And then your decimal in your answer, step 3 says to bring down your decimal, so our answer is 19 76/100. Okay, let's look at the second one. The second question is a subtraction problem, and if you'll look right here at this 100, the 100 doesn't seem to have a decimal in it. So what we need to do is find where the decimal is. So on a whole number, the decimal is always going to be at the back. So if we were looking at our whole number right here, it has an invisible decimal. That's the only place we would be able to put the decimal that would make it $100. If we put 100 here and we put the decimal at the back, it would still be $100. If we put the decimal, say right here, that would be $10. And if we put it here, it would be $1. So the only place we can put it that allows it to keep its value is at the back. So we're going to put the 100, and I'm going to go ahead and put the decimal there just so that I don't forget it. And the 57 has the decimal here. So we want those to be lined up. And then we do need to have the 9800ths. And this is a subtraction problem, so we got to be really careful. Let's go ahead and see if our decimals are in line. Absolutely. Okay, so I can't really do my subtraction just yet. So hopefully you guys are aware of what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to do some borrowing here. So I'm going to go ahead and put our placeholders. We can't do 0 minus 8, so we're actually going to have to go all the way over to the 1. The 1's going to become a 0. This is going to become a 10. That becomes a 9, and hopefully in 7th grade you're versed with all of that borrowing. So we're going to just follow that all the way over so that we have our subtraction that we can now do. 10 minus 8 is going to leave us with 2. 9 minus 9 is 0. 9 minus 7 is 2. And 9 minus 5 is going to be 4. Again, the last step, step 3, says to bring down the decimal, so you just bring it right down. So we get 42 2/100ths. All right, let's move up to the next example. We have 934 62/100ths, and then we've got 12 with the decimal right here, so we want to put the 12 there so that, again, these decimals are lined up, and 654,000. So there's quite a few digits on this problem. It is addition, so we'll make sure that we are paying attention to that. Again, we can add our placeholder right here. We don't have any digit there, but we can go ahead and add a placeholder. 0 plus 4 is going to be 4. 2 plus 5 is going to be 7. 6 plus 6 is 12. 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 plus 1 is 4. And we have our 9. And again, our decimals were lined up. We did that from the very beginning. So all we have to do is bring down our decimal into our answer. So 947 274,000ths would be our final answer for that one. All right, let's look at our last question. We've got another subtraction problem. So first thing, we got to line up our decimals. 15 3/1000 minus, we've got a 7 as a whole number, and 89 hundredths is the rest of that one. So let's check and see. Step 2 was add or subtract like normal. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I can put a placeholder right here, and I can do 3 minus 0 to get 3. I cannot take away 9 from 0. So 0 minus 9, I can't do that. Got to do some borrowing. The 5 becomes a 4. This one's a 9. And this one's a 10. 10 minus 9 is 1. 9 minus 8 is 1. I cannot do 4 minus 7. So I'm just actually going to bring that over here. Go ahead and borrow. 14 minus 7 is 7. So we've got 7 and 113 thousandths. Okay, let's go back up and review our steps. Step 1, line up the decimals. Step 2, add or subtract like normal. And step 3, you just bring down your decimal into your answer.